أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا ومقتدانا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Respected brothers and sisters and mu'mineen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me offer first of all my condolences on the martyrdom anniversary of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha to you all brothers and sisters. As you know that in this series of the speeches and presentations we had for you brothers and sisters, we tried to cover some of the virtues and merits of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha due to the occasion of martyrdom anniversary of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha these days. Brothers and sisters, the final episode will be dedicated to the characteristics of a Fatimiyyah family. It means that what are some of the main characteristics of the household of Lady Zahra or family life of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha. Based on what we mentioned in the previous sessions, of course, we talked about some of the fada'il of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha. And of course, all those fada'il of Lady Zahra are applicable to the family let's say lifestyle of Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha as well. This aspect of the life of these ladies is very much significant. It's very much important that we should all apply those things in our lives, and we should learn those lessons from Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha to have a better life, to have a beautiful life, to have a life full of pleasures, full of enjoyment, a happy life, a prosperous life, for example. Because in the Holy Quran we see that the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Marriage and family is introduced by the Holy Quran as source of mawadda, love, hub between the spouse. And also it says that in a family life and within a family, all members of the family should love each other, should be very much merciful, kind, and let's say compassionate to each other. This should be the environment of a family according to the Holy Quran. But unfortunately nowadays you see that unfortunately under the influence of the propaganda or kind of teachings, doctrines that are preached and propagated by the mass media, and of course our young generation are under the influence of these data, information that they receive from the different kind of networkings and platforms, I don't know, internet here and there. So under the influence of these kind of things, people unfortunately always suffer a lot from different kind of problems in their families. That's why the number of divorce that is recorded among Muslims, among mu'mineen, is increasing, and it is a really main concern nowadays for the families, particularly for the parents. And of course it has very kind of dangerous effects, negative effects we can say, on the children, on the offspring of this family, on both wife and husband, and also particularly the children, the other members, the other relatives. And it is not a good thing that unfortunately whose number is also increasing nowadays. What we see in the Holy Quran, we see that first of all, marriage itself is really important, is really significant, and having a kind of peaceful life full of compassion, full of mercy, full of kindness, full of love, full of care, for example, is very much emphasized in the ayat of the Holy Quran, in the tradition, in the hadith of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam. One point that I should mention here for the youth, particularly our youngsters, specifically those brothers and sisters who are not that much willing to have to get married, I want to say that the best thing that a man and a woman can have in this world is good children, is training and bringing up a good child or good children. Because of what? Because having a kind of mu'min child or a kind of what we can say pious and true mu'min and true believer children, having such children in this world is the most important thing. Because of what? Because the blessings, the rewards that you receive for having such children and then offspring from that children, that is a kind of sadaqah jariyah. It's a kind of charity for you that always helps you, that always comes to you. Even, for example, sometimes you have very good, for example, grandchildren in this world, and they are great scholars, they are serving, for example, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are good doers. You see that, for example, if your children, among your children there is a great scholar who, for example, train hundreds of people, thousands of people in this world and teach them with good teachings and doctrines and train these people, and those people generation to generation they bring up, they also train the next generation. You see, the thawab of this is not countable. It goes beyond counting. As you see that once the Holy Prophet ﷺ told Amir al-Mu'mineen while he was sending Amir al-Mu'mineen to Yemen, said, O Ali, that even if you guide one person in Yemen, if one single person be guided by you in Yemen, the thawab of that and the rewards of that are to the extent that even that if, for example, all the oceans, abhar, for example, become like ink, for example, by which the people were writing something, and then if all the trees become pens, and all the earths and the skies and the heavens become like papers, if they want to write thawab of it and rewards of it, they cannot write. It means that the thawab of it goes beyond all those things, okay, that were mentioned by the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So look, if a person can bring up such a child, or train such a child, or such a great kind of man or woman remain in this world from a spouse, from a family, look that nothing can be compared with it. And also in the Holy Quran it is said, if a person revive, for example, or save life of one single person, it's like this, that he saved or she saved all humanity, all mankind. And here we mean that we can also understand from this ayah that if you have a good child, if you save him from the hellfire, and you train and bring up him in a way, or her in a way, that she or he could save the lives of others from the hellfire, then again it is like this, that you saved all the thawab, and the reward of is this, like this, that you saved the humanity, you saved all mankind. So that is why, brothers and sisters, marriage is really significant, first of all, and having a good family, a good environment for training good children is again very much important, very much emphasized in the Holy Quran. Look at this ayah in which we say that this is dua, and the Quranic dua says that رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. According to this dua, It says that رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. It means that, oh Allah, please bless us with the blessings of good children, with good offspring, so that they could be guidance, or they could guide, for example, the people. And this is the light of eyes, we can say قُرَّةَ أَعْيُن, for the parents. So that is why the point is that another point that I want to mention here is that there was a person, he was always complaining about having children, saying that of course it's not good to have children because there are problems, difficulties, for example, having children, this and that. So it was always complaining. And then Imam al-Sajjad alayhi alaf al-tahiyyati was-salam said a very beautiful thing in response to this person. Says that فَقَالَ كَذَبَ وَاللَّهِ نِعْمَ الشَّيْءُ الْوَلَدُ إِنْ عَاشَ فَدَعَّاءٌ حَاضِرٌ وَإِنْ مَاتَ فَشَفِيعٌ سَابِقٌ. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says that of course having a child or having children is the best thing, because if your child is alive, so of course he is supporting you, he is helping you, you know. It is again a kind of rahmah, a kind of ni'mah, a kind of blessing. And then say that if he or she dies, I mean your child dies before you, for example, then again he or she would be a kind of shafi' for you in akhirah, in the hereafter. So it says that in both this world and the hereafter life, in both of them, a child or children can help you and can support you. That is why, and also in the Holy Quran, it is said this, that رَبَّنَا وَأَدْخِلْهُمْ جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ الَّتِي وَعَدْتَهُمْ وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ. Look, in this Holy Quran, it is mentioned that because of the good people, وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ, it means that your ancestors also sometimes can be included because of you among Ahl al-Jannah, or azwajihim, and their spouses, for example, their husbands or wives, for example, can be also included by you in Jannah. wa dhurriyyatihim, also your offspring, your children might enter paradise because of you. So you see that sometimes having children is really great ni'mah, great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that because of your children sometimes you might be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, might enter the paradise, might be saved from the hellfire. So that is why it seems that we should not always think that, for example, having children is just problem, is just, for example, causing difficulties and challenges in our lives. No, of course, even it is said that sometimes, for example, when you provide your children, when you provide your family members with sustenance, it would be considered as a kind of sadaqat of you. Because of that, you will be forgiven. Because of that, it will be like a sadaqah, like a charity for you, and it will have thawab and rewards for you. While you are just providing your family members, your children with the sustenance, but it would be considered as a kind of action which is full of thawab and rewards on the Day of Judgment. And then we have some other ayat that says that قَالُوا إِنَّا كُنَّا قَبْلُ فِي أَهْلِنَا مُشْفِقِينَ. Says that there are some people says that we want to be together with our Ahl in Jannah, for example. That's why their Ahl will be entered, will enter Jannah, for example. Or for example, in this ayah says الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. You see that here it is mentioned in this ayah that of course sometimes zurriya means the children or your offspring help you in the hereafter life to enter paradise, to be saved from the hellfire. That is why in a riwayah also we see we have this that says that إن الله يرفع ذرية المؤمن في درجته وإن كانوا دونه لِتَقَرَّ بِهِمْ عَيْنُهُ. So as you see that in all these ayat and riwayat, we are told that having children, having family, marriage, being good parents, being good children, all of these things are ni'amat. All of these things are rahmatullahi ta'ala, rahmatullahi wasi'ah in our lives. So that's why we should not only think sometimes of some of maybe the difficulties or challenges that we might sometimes, or hardships that we might face due to having family members or children like this, because the thawab and the rewards that you will receive is incomparable, cannot be compared with this kind of maybe some hardships and difficulties that you may face in this short worldly and earthly life. That is why having a family is important, and having children is again important. But the point that we should mention here is this, that according to the Holy Quran, according to the seerah of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, what is very much significant and important, brothers and sisters, is this, that the Holy Quran says that قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا, says that it is your duty, your responsibility to protect your children, to protect your family against hellfire, to save them from hellfire. And this is an order, a commandment for you, for all of us, that قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ, says that be careful, be very much cautious and mindful of your children, of your family members, and try to protect them, to keep them away from the hellfire, from the misguidance, for example. That is why the parents have really important duty, have really important responsibility, particularly you brothers and sisters who live in the Western kind of societies, Westernized kind of civilization and culture. Though there are maybe positive kind of things in your particularly social lives, economic life, but we must be always mindful of what is going on there, particularly when it comes to the children, when it comes to the offspring, that we must try our best to guide them, to teach them the true teachings and the true doctrines of Islam. This is among the duties that we should have. For example, in riwayat and ahadith, we have this, that we have to teach our children the fara'id, what are obligatory, what are mandatory for them to be performed by them. وَنَهِهِمْ عَنِ الْقَبَائِحِ, we should do amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar. We should teach them that these things are bad, evil. You should never perform them, and you should, for example, perform these good things. You must be always good people, inviting others to good, enjoining good, forbidding evil. These are the things that we should always try to think about and try to observe in our lives. And then the other thing is to observe the other's rights, to respect the other's right. Makes no difference whether they are Muslim, non-Muslim. Of course, their rights should be observed. But when it comes to the Ahl al-Bayt, to the family members, of course, it is the thing that we should be really, really serious about it, not to violate the rights of others. And also, brothers and sisters, having a simple kind of life, sometimes we see that some of the families, they spend huge amount of money, which is really the very clear instance of, or example of, israf and wastage of the budget, of money, of properties. We must be really, really mindful that in what way we spend, on what thing we invest, and what will we harvest at the end of the day, at the end of the life, for example. Of course, if we train our children, if we bring up good children, if we invest on these kind of things, that is good. But of course, if we waste our life, waste our time, waste our money or budget, then of course it is again a kind of what we can say great loss in our life. And the other point that finally I should mention, that in a Fatimi family, what is really significant is this, that the moral teachings, moral principles, moral regulations and rules should be predominant in a mu'min's life. A Muslim, a true mu'min, should not violate the moral teachings of Islam, and he should be always mindful of these, the morality of Islam. And finally, the thing that in a family is really important according to the riwayat and hadith, particularly the lifestyle of Lady Zahra salamullah alayha and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is this, that we must be very much kind, very much merciful, very much, we can say, compassionate to each other, to family members, to our children, children to their parents. It is narrated that sometimes the Prophet ﷺ told Lady Zahra that fidaha abuha, and also it is narrated also from Imam al-Kadhim ﷺ regarding Lady Ma'suma salamullahi alayha. Or these are the points that we see in hadith and riwayat of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, that sometimes Imam al-Kadhim said that fidaha abuha, may father of Lady Ma'suma be sacrificed for Lady Ma'suma salamullah alayha, for his daughter. This is the kind of muhabba and love that we see was expressed by Imam to his daughter. So that's why, brothers and sisters, these kind of lessons are really significant in our lives, particularly when we are living together with our family members. The more you're kind, the more you're merciful, the more you have better children, better generations, the more you have peaceful society, the more you have kindful people, kind people, let's say, merciful people in the society, and of course all the members of society then enjoy a very good life. That's why kindness is one of the things that should be always there in family life to the highest level, so that we would have good children, inshallah, good offspring in the future, we would train good generations, and then we would have good nation, good society, good community. These are all the things that will be beneficial for all of us, both in this dunya and hereafter life. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.